Today we're talking about the Gutenberg Editor. All right, so Gutenberg Editor is coming. We all have heard it, we've all seen it. If you haven't updated WordPress in a while, or you haven't been reading anything about WordPress. In 5.0, they are going to release Gutenberg Editor as the replacement for the old WordPress editor. Now, on the version that we're on right now, this video, September 18th, 2018, the version of WordPress that we're on right now is 4.9.8. If you haven't updated to that version yet, go ahead and do that. It's important to always keep your WordPress up to date, your themes up to date, your plugins up to date for security and stuff like that. Always do a backup before you update anything or install any new plugins or install Gutenberg. So in this video, I want to go through installing Gutenberg, show you how to use it a little bit, and talk about why it's a step forward in the right direction. And then I also want to look at shortcodes in Gutenberg, because I had someone comment that you can't do shortcodes in Gutenberg, which you can. And I also want to talk about removing Gutenberg if you're not happy with it. What you need to do on a testing site, or even your live site, you can remove Gutenberg even though you've already installed it. Now, once 5.0 comes out, Gutenberg will be the editor inside of WordPress, and you will have the ability to install the classic editor. So from my recommendations, I was upset when I heard that there was a new editor coming out. Well, I shouldn't say I was upset when I heard the new editor was coming out. I went and downloaded Gutenberg as soon as I found out, and there was a lot of issues with it at the time. It actually conflicted with some of the major plugins that we use and we test with. But since then, since it's getting closer and closer, there's a lot of improvements and really speeds up the workflow if you're adding content. So let's get started, and we're going to go through each step. We're going to install it, activate it. I'll show you how to use it a little bit, and then we're going to remove it, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's get started. So here on the ideapro.tv website that we use for testing, right here at the top, again, we're on version 4.9.8. Right here at the top, it says a new modern publishing experience is coming soon. So this is talking about Gutenberg. So we have the 2017 default theme installed here on the ideapro.tv website. And we have very few plugins. We have this one plugin that we created for the custom post type, creating a custom post type. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out here at the card. That's the only plugin that we have installed. Again, the theme 2017 is the only theme that we have, and pages and posts are very, very limited. It's basically a very basic default, or a very basic installation of WordPress. All right. So again, if this was not a testing site, I would back it up beforehand. But it's a testing site, so we're not going to worry about it. I recommend backing up the database, backing up your files, backing up the theme, backing up any plugins, anything that's in the file structure, and anything that's in the database. Even your WP content uploads folder, make sure you have all that stuff backed up, because if it crashed, you could lose everything, right? So I would do this on a testing site if you have that ability. If not, you can do it on your own site. Again, back it up and install the Gutenberg editor real late at night, or when you have very, very low traffic on the site. All right. So we're going to hit install Gutenberg right here on the front. And the first thing it's going to tell us to do is activate it. So we're just going to click activate Gutenberg. Now what it's going to do is it's going to take us to a page that is an example post from Gutenberg. So we're actually going to get out of that. All right. And we didn't publish it or save it or anything like that, so it's gone. We can add a new post. And if you look here, if we go back, you can see Gutenberg or Classic Editor. So here they're still giving you the ability to do a Classic Editor, but we want to do add new Gutenberg. And if you just say add new, it does the Gutenberg by default. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to say this is a test post, and we're going to publish this. And the first thing it does is it says, are you ready to publish? Double check your settings, then use the button to publish your post. We're on a testing site, so it's not that big a deal. So now you can view post, copy link. That way if you want to send that link to someone else. All right, so now we're going to open this in a new tab. And this is our post. Again, we're on the default 2017 theme for WordPress. And this is just the title of the post here. If you look, it is an H1, right? All right, so that's the title. So now if we go in and add another block, these are called blocks. So we can hit the plus, and there's different types of blocks. These are the most used. Paragraph, shortcode, image, and there's that shortcode that I talked about a minute ago. We'll go back to this in just a minute. Image, list, video, heading, gallery, quote, audio, and you scroll down, there's a few more, but most of them are added up here in the most used. So if we look at this, it's inline image, because that's an inline elements, common blocks, paragraph, image, list, video, heading, gallery, quote, audio, cover image, and file, and then formatting. You know, so let's go through, let's do a cover image. I have a picture of me and my wife here. I'll select that. And then we're going to add a title. My wife and I. All right. And so we're going to update. We're going to come back here and refresh. And that's what it does. So this, again, we're using the default theme for WordPress, the 2017 theme. And if we were making our own theme or had a wide template, we could, it would expand across the top like this right here, like this top image is. But we did it as a cover image instead of just a regular image, so it gives us the ability to put this in here. And let's keep going. All right. So now we can hover over this. And if we hover right over the top, it gives us a plus. So if we insert a block here, it will actually insert above this. So I can put like a little text up here that says, my wife and I visited, let's just say went, went to Vegas for our anniversary. All right. And so if we hit update, and come back here and refresh. So my wife and I went to Vegas for our anniversary. And then we can come down here, we can hit the plus, and we can add, you know, some more stuff. So let's add a list. I did not want it to go above that, so I'm not sure why it did, but since it did, we can move it, right? The way we move it is these little arrows over here, because I want it to go above the cover image. So now our list is down here below. So we're going to make a list of apples, oranges, grapes, bananas. Bananas. My spelling is not right today. Let's just leave it in apples, oranges, and grapes. The cool thing about a list is you can just click and change it to an ordered list, or just a list item here. So then we have bold. So if you wanted to bold, you could hit bold. You got italics, and you got a link, and you got strike through. If we said, oh, we want to strike through oranges, right? So then we can update, go back here and refresh. And so there's our list, apples, oranges, and grapes. Okay, so now if we want to remove a list or a block, you can click on inside of the block, and it gives you this little menu here on the right. So we can hide the block settings, which just closes this. We can duplicate, insert before, insert after. That means if we need to insert a block before this, we can do that. Insert after. We can edit as HTML. So if you go like this, now you can see that HTML. And you can go back to edit visually. And then add to reusable block. Now, this is very, very handy. This is something that I've built a plugin for our clients. So add to reusable block, and it pops up a little thing down here and says my food list, right? So we can save that as my food list. So now, if we wanted to come down and add another one, we can come all the way down to reusable here. And so reusable my food list, and it gives you a preview here to the right. Well, let me stay there. So it gives you a preview to the right there, apples, oranges, and grapes, what that's going to look like. So if I wanted to, I could just click it, and now we have this one here and this one here. I'm going to remove that. And so that's how we would remove the block, is just click on it, click the menu, and hit remove block. All right. So we're going to update, go back, and we still have the same look because we removed all that. Okay, so now we have 3 buttons here. So these buttons are add shortcode, add a list, and add an image. So you can add an image. So we'll go to the media library and we'll just add that image again, doesn't really matter. But you can see where this is a little different. This one has, a title in the middle, and this one doesn't. This does give you the ability to write a caption. We really enjoyed our trip. And we'll say trip to Las Vegas. All right. So now we can update, come back here and refresh. And so now we have an image here with a little caption underneath it. But you can see by doing this as a cover image, it automatically puts a gradient, not a gradient, but a cover, an overlay, that's the word I'm looking for, an overlay over the image, and gives us the ability to do a title, where here it shows just the bright image and a caption underneath. Now for this up here, if we come back in here to the editor, you can click on this and come over here to, we have the document and we have block. Now in the block, if we click on this, it gives us the ability to change the opacity, right? So we can change the opacity and we can add additional CSS here if we have our own CSS class that we want to use. Adding a CSS class in this area here will not change the view here unless you add that CSS class to the admin area of WordPress. It will only show up in the front end if you've added that CSS class to the style sheet. So again, this gives you a little bit of flexibility to do that. If we come down here, we click on our lists, reusable block, it just tells us it's a reusable block. It doesn't really give us any options for that. Click on the image here and we have several different types of settings. So alt text, so I can just say my wife and I, there we go. So image, full size, thumbnail, featured image, large, medium, these are the 2017 are from the theme, but we can say full, and then you can do 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, and then you can reset it, of course. And then you have the link to settings here. So link to media file, attachment, or custom URL. So if you do custom URL, you can put that custom URL here in the bottom. Gives you the ability to do that. And again, you've got an advanced tab here, which is just additional CSS if you wanted IMG responsive, if you're using Bootstrap, or IMG thumbnail, right? Oops. Or your own custom CSS. Again, adding that CSS here will not change what it looks like in the preview here unless you add it to the WordPress admin. Okay, so we're going to take these out because we're not using Bootstrap on this theme. So that gives you an idea of how to add blocks and how to edit blocks and remove blocks. Again, there's different widgets, so you could do latest comments, latest posts, archives, categories. You know, you can embed all kinds of stuff in here. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you know, so you can just play with this, and I'm not going to go through all these details. The only other thing I do want to talk about is shortcodes, because I had a comment that someone made that said you couldn't do shortcodes in Gutenberg Editor. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. So on the custom post type that we made for the custom post type video, we created a shortcode called Get Example Posts. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come back over here to the editor. So Gutenberg uses what they call the blocks, and blocks are great. I think it's advanced forward from the WordPress editor, which is extremely old and has many issues. But you can still use shortcodes. I don't ever see them getting rid of the ability to use shortcodes. So there's a couple ways to do it. One, you can click Add Shortcode, and then you can just paste in that shortcode, right? And so I'll paste that in, I'll update. I'll do refresh here. And so now this pulls in the shortcode that we created for our example post types. So back here in the WordPress admin, we have these example post types that we created in the custom post type plugin tutorial that I did. So these post types show up here from that shortcode. All right. Now we did that as a shortcode kind of block, but you don't have to do it that way. If you're just doing a shortcode, kind of like what we did here, where it's very specific data, you can just do it like that. If you want the shortcode to appear inside of text, we can remove this. So we'll click that, remove the block. We will add a paragraph text here, and then we can start typing. This is going to show the shortcode that we did. Between these lines of code will be our shortcode. And so right up here, oh, it added it as two different blocks. I didn't want to do that. Huh? Because it adds it as a paragraph. So we could change this, but let's just add the shortcode right here in the middle. All right, and we can actually remove this one. Remove that block. All right. So now if we go in and update and refresh, see, our shortcode still works. So this is going to show and then the shortcode is there, shortcode that we did. So that actually puts that shortcode in line in that text. So shortcodes do work in Gutenberg. All right. So I want to show now how to remove Gutenberg and that it doesn't affect anything. If you guys have any other questions about how to use Gutenberg, let me know in the comments. I can make a more extensive video on adding video and stuff like that. But I want to go into removing it, deactivating it and removing it. All right. So if you look at plugins, we have Gutenberg now here as a plugin. So on the dashboard, it says try Gutenberg, which will take you to the default post that they create to let you play with it. We can install the classic editor, which will be a classic editor plugin, but we don't want to do that on this one because we don't need 2 plugins. If we're not going to use Gutenberg, let's just remove it, right? Once 5.0 comes out and Gutenberg is the default editor, you'll want to install the classic editor. But right now we're going to go to plugins, we're going to deactivate it, and we're going to delete it. And the reason why I want to show this is because now that plugin is gone. But if we go to the dashboard, it still shows a new modern publishing experience is coming soon. So, and now it says install again. So if we hit install, it will download the plugin, install it, and then we can activate it again. But if we go to posts, so this is a test post, see how we've put this stuff in there in the Gutenberg editor. So our content is still there. It's very rough how it's in there. It's the Gutenberg kind of shortcodes and stuff like that. So we can update. If we go back and refresh, see how it kind of breaks because the style sheet and stuff like that from Gutenberg is no longer in there. Some of it works okay, like the paragraph here and the shortcode. The caption still shows up underneath the image, but if you look, the header image, I guess is what it's called, doesn't work anymore because the style sheet was removed. But the content is still there, right? So we just need to change this content back to, something that's more readable. So I don't recommend going through and doing a whole lot of stuff on Gutenberg and then going, oh, I really don't like it, I'm going to remove it, because your content won't look exactly right. So that's removing the editor. Again, everything like pages we didn't change, the sample page that we had in here. So we still have this one, and if we open it and look at it, it still looks the same. It has, this stuff in there. But we didn't break the site by installing Gutenberg, and we didn't break it by deleting Gutenberg. So I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else I need to expand on with Gutenberg. Again, I was upset when I heard that Gutenberg was coming. I've been very, very frustrated with the WordPress editor, the default WordPress editor, for a long, long time. Again, it's been there for years and years, and there's some major issues with it. I think Gutenberg's in the right step, the step in the right direction anyway, and I think that it will improve before they even come out with it in version 5, but I think it's much, much better than what it used to be. And I actually like the way the content looks. I've developed a couple of themes that are custom themes. I installed the Gutenberg editor, and everything just works like it's supposed to. So I'm very excited about it, and I look forward to building some sites out of it. So if you like this video, click the like button, remember to subscribe, and let me know in the comments if I need to expand on it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.